For generations of children, Toys R Us was more than just a store. It was a dreamland. Walking into one felt like entering a toy paradise, with aisles packed with action figures, dolls, bikes, board games, and everything in between. It wasn't just a place to shop, it was a destination. With its famous jingle, "I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid," the brand etched itself into the hearts of millions. But in 2018, that magic crumbled. The once mighty toy empire filed for bankruptcy, closing hundreds of stores and leaving many wondering, how could such a beloved brand fall so hard, so fast? The rise of a toy giant. Charles Lazarus was born in 1923, and after returning from World War II, he saw something many others missed. America was entering a new era, a baby boom. Soldiers were back home, starting families, and preparing for a more stable life. Sensing this shift, Lazarus opened a small shop in 1948 called Children's Bargain Town in Washington, D.C., selling baby furniture. But quickly, something became clear. Customers who bought cribs and strollers would come back soon, looking for toys. He realized that toys had repeat value. Kids outgrew them, broke them, or simply wanted more. And that's when a spark ignited. In 1957, Lazarus took a bold step and rebranded his business as Toys R Us. It wasn't just a name change. It was the birth of something completely new. The store introduced an entirely different concept, a massive self-service toy supermarket. Parents could walk through aisles categorized by toy type, pick from thousands of options, and avoid the limitations of tiny toy corners in department stores. With its wide selection, affordable pricing, and exciting shopping experience, Toys R Us became more than just a store. It became a family destination. It was the place where birthdays began, holiday wish lists were made, and childhood dreams took shape. By the 1980s and 1990s, Toys R Us had exploded into a retail phenomenon. With its cheerful mascot, Jeffrey the Giraffe, leading the charge, the brand captured hearts across generations. Stores popped up all over the United States and eventually across the world, turning the chain into a global icon. Children dragged their parents through those sliding glass doors every weekend, and parents trusted the store for quality, variety, and price. At its peak in the early 2000s, Toys R Us operated over 1,500 stores worldwide and was pulling in over $11 billion, 0 cents a year. It wasn't just the biggest toy retailer, it was the toy retailer, dominating its industry in a way few brands ever could. The beginning of the end, the turning point. Toys R Us had a strong brand, loyal customers, and deep market penetration, but cracks began forming in the late 1990s and early 2000s. One of the earliest missteps was its delayed response to the rise of e-commerce. Amazon and Walmart were rapidly expanding their online operations, offering lower prices and the convenience of home delivery. Instead of quickly building out a competitive e-commerce platform, Toys R Us made a fateful deal with Amazon in 2000. It agreed to be Amazon's exclusive toy seller in exchange for Amazon handling the online infrastructure. This deal backfired badly. Amazon allowed other vendors to sell toys on its platform, breaking the exclusivity clause. When Toys R Us sued to exit the agreement in 2004, it found itself years behind in building its own e-commerce capabilities. By the time it re-entered the online game, it was playing catch-up in a market where Amazon had already won customers with speed, convenience, and price. At the same time, Walmart and Target were undercutting Toys R Us in physical retail. These big-box retailers included toys as part of their larger offerings and often priced them lower, using toys as loss leaders to attract foot traffic. Parents could pick up a toy along with groceries or household items. The standalone toy store started to seem less essential. The weight of private equity. In 2005, a major turning point came when Toys R Us was taken private in a $6 billion, 0 cents leveraged buyout by Bain Capital, KKR, and Vornado Realty Trust. The idea was to revamp and modernize the business, but the reality was different. The buyout loaded the company with massive debt, over $5 billion 0 cents, and sucked up over $400 million 0 cents a year in interest payment. That debt burden left little room for innovation, tech upgrades, or competitive pricing. While competitors invested in e-commerce, store experience, and supply chain efficiency, Toys R Us was stuck servicing debt and playing defense. The chain tried to rebrand stores and roll out new concepts like interactive play zones, but these efforts were often too small scale or poorly executed to make a difference. The aging stores remained largely unchanged, feeling more like warehouses than magical wonderlands. Compounding the problem, the company frequently shifted leadership, creating inconsistency in vision and execution. CEO changes and boardroom debates distracted from a coherent long-term strategy. Without innovation or investment, Toys R Us became stale, a giant that forgot how to adapt. The bankruptcy and store closures. In September 2017, Toys R Us officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, hoping to restructure its debt and reinvent its business. But just a few months later, in March 2018, it announced it would be closing or selling all 735 of its U.S. stores. The news stunned customers and employees alike. Nearly 33 people lost their jobs. The image of empty aisles, abandoned Jeffrey statues, and shuttered storefronts became symbols of a retail giant's collapse. Why didn't the restructuring work? One major reason was the competitive landscape. The toy market had changed. Kids were increasingly drawn to digital entertainment, video games, mobile apps, and online content. Physical toys were still popular, but not dominant. At the same time, manufacturers like Hasbro and Mattel were under pressure and started dealing directly with online retailers, bypassing Toys R Us altogether. Even special exclusives were no longer enough to draw foot traffic. The 2017 holiday season, crucial for toy sales, was a disaster. Suppliers, worried about Toys R Us's financial instability, demanded upfront payments. Many didn't ship products at all. That meant empty shelves at a time when the company needed a blockbuster season to recover. With mounting debt, declining sales, and shaken vendor relationships, the brand had little choice but to liquidate. A brand too big to forget? Even after bankruptcy, the Toys R Us name held nostalgic power. In 2019, a new company called True Kids Brands acquired the rights to the brand and attempted a revival. 2 small SMAT stores opened in Houston and New Jersey, featuring modern layouts, interactive play areas, and digital integration. But they closed within a year, partly due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted in-store retail across the board. In 2021, WHP Global purchased a controlling interest in Toys R Us and announced plans to bring it back, not through traditional standalone stores, but as branded sections inside Macy's department stores. The idea is to blend nostalgia with modern convenience, leveraging Macy's foot traffic while maintaining the essence of the Toys R Us name. As of 2023, there are now over 450 Toys R Us shop-in-shop locations inside Macy's stores across the U.S. The reception has been cautiously optimistic. The stores are smaller, more curated, and designed to provide an engaging experience rather than just a wide selection. There are also plans to relaunch the brand internationally, tapping into markets where the name still carries strong emotional weight. The ongoing revival attempt. Despite its decline, Toys R Us has never completely faded away. Under WHP Global's Toys R Us isn't just fading away. Under WHP Global, the brand has quietly started its revival with strategic moves like the partnership with Macy's, which now features over 450 smaller, curated locations. These stores create a unique shopping experience, contrasting with the impersonal nature of large online retailers. The brand is also focusing on international markets and embracing digital strategies like toy unboxings and live stream shopping events. This hybrid approach, combining physical stores and online engagement, is aimed at making Toys R Us relevant once again, not just as a retailer, but as an experience kids can enjoy both in-store and online. What comes next? The future of Toys R Us looks to be a modest comeback. The brand is likely to focus on hybrid retail with physical stores partnered with other brands, along with a strong online presence. Rather than trying to be the biggest, it may thrive as a nostalgic boutique brand for loyal fans. Alternatively, the brand might shift toward licensing and media. Jeffrey the Giraffe still has strong recognition, and there could be potential in cartoons, branded games, or even toys. Yet, with digital competition from mobile apps and virtual entertainment, the road ahead remains challenging. Toys R Us has a second chance, but can it make the most of it? What do you think the future holds for Toys R Us? Can it thrive again in today's digital world? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.